Want to spend a little bit of time on Pioneer because I do have a couple of RCQs coming up, and I still want to make sure that I am familiarized with the format and the things that have been happening, because there was a showcase challenge this weekend that by and large was not the most interesting, except for this one deck that completely dominated the entire event, and this is the Boros Pia deck. Now, as far as I can aware, as far as I can recall, I believe the origins of this deck was, I don't remember seeing people playing it a ton before we played the Dono deck from Salty Saint Nick, and it kind of just took off from there. And this deck is utilizing the card from too many sets. I forget which one this is. This is Aftermath, March of Machines Aftermath. So this is Pia. It says whenever you play a land or exile from exile or spell from exile, you get a 1/1 flyer that has haste. We're playing that alongside a Prowess package with Swiftspear Soul-Scar Mage. We've decided to move the Chain to the Rocks to the main deck, which I was a pretty big fan of. We've tried a couple of different lists, and we've tried Chain main, Chain in the board, and I think I do like it main deck given the presence of Monograin, and specifically also with the Rise of Rakdos Sacrifice, you kind of need something to be able to 1-for-1 Mayhem Devil, because you don't have, like, your Play with Fires are offline against Mayhem Devil, they don't kill it. So I kind of like that. And then just maxing on 4 Reckless Impulse, 4 Wrenn's Resolve. The one interesting thing about this particular list is there are no copies of Light Up the Stage. So we've played versions in the past that have had like a spectacle package that had 4 Light Up the Stage, somewhere between 3 and 4 Skewer the Critics. And this particular version is eschewing all of those spectacle cards. And I actually kind of like that, because one thing that I found a lot of the time with the spectacle cards is they're not the best with the prowess cards, because the easiest way for you to free roll damage is go to combat and attack with your prowess creatures, but then you're casting your spectacle cards post combat, which don't really work that well with the prowess creatures, right? Because then you're casting spells post combat, getting prowess triggers that are mostly meaningless. So I do kind of like this approach with no spectacle cards, and your ways to trigger Pia are 4 Resolve, 4 Impulse, and then main deck Showdown. And also 4 Bonecrusher Giant, which notably not only triggers Pia when you cast it from the companion zone, but it also just gives you another threat, like 3 mana 4/3. It's got good stats. Gives you a little bit of more interaction as well against, like, on the play against elves. You can stop their turn 2 elf. So I kind of like that as well. And then just like small notes in the mana base here, we've added a couple of mountains to facilitate the Chain of the Rocks, which, that is kind of the main downside to playing Chained, is you need to play enough mountains to be able to support it. Therefore, you have less white sources, so you kind of have to keep that in mind. But I think the way that this mana is situated, it's probably fine. Play Cast into Fire. You are Turtle Power. You are telling me to play a card in Pioneer that is actually not legal in Pioneer. I think it's Ringos. That's what I was thinking too. Okay, this hand's good. Back to the pathway, I think. What about Rimrock Knight? Maybe. I'm not, like, super opposed to that. Some Spirit Box. I don't know, probably, like, just RINGO. I guess you could do RHINGO. Let's play the Impulse. Yeah, Ringo Stars. Okay. Go. Rhingos. Yeah, this is the Phoenix deck, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Brews consider Impulse. Those are good cards to hit. Yeah, exactly. That's the lore. I'm finally proposing to my one true love, the Footfall. Which one, though? The left rhino or the right rhino? That's the real question. Oh boy, those are bad. So we do this. Creatures mod check? Yeah, where are my creatures at? Where are they at? Where are the creatures at? I guess we'll upkeep this Play with Fire. Probably? I'm sure that's good. Like, I already feel like this game is over. I might not be playing this deck at the RCQ. We may or may not be playing this deck at the RCQ. So there's an RCQ on Saturday that I have to decide if I want to go to, which is like I think it's like an hour and 45-minute drive, which I could do, but I'm not sure if I want to go to that one or just wait. Can't play this. Yeah, Chandra Dress to Kill. Chandra Dress to Kill could be good. I'm willing to believe that. Alright, I will attack you for 2. That Spirit Box hits different. Back. I declare an attack. You kill my creature, or not. Alright, Dedge. Go. What's up, Project Taco? Damn ads. Well, just saying. Did you know that there is a way you can avoid advertisements on the channel? Well, there's multiple ways, but you know where I'm going with this. Hardcast Phoenix, Giga Chad. Yeah, but I'll throw it on Bezos tab. I think I'm just going upstairs. I don't think that's good enough. I think we need to find like a thing. Do you think they know about the way this works? Let's see if they know. What do you think about Lil Chandra? I mean, I don't know if you want to play more like expensive cards. If you wanted to play Little Chandra, you would almost certainly play it over Showdown. I'm not sure which one's better. I could be convinced to Little Chandra being better. It's probably like slightly higher impact, but I'm not sure about that. I'd have to play with both. And I've played a lot more with Showdown than Chandra, and I know Showdown is great. I'm just not convinced that that Chandra is as good. Like, the thing about Showdown is it draws you a bunch of cards, but then the chapter where you get to put counters on all your stuff is also just kind of insane. You just get to kill people out of basically nowhere with that. So I think you have higher upside on the Showdown, but it's close. Yeah, Showdown's real nice. Not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. Yeah, O2 dropped the first one. 07 to the play points. Play points long but not forgotten. Or gone but not forgotten. I can't speak. Attack. Oh. Cast Odawara. I will replay my Jegantha opponent. What are we doing over there? The official McDonald's Wi-Fi. Okay. Why are they doing it this way? I mean, the thing about this line is if they cast 3 spells to get back the Phoenix that they have to do on their turn, I can still just do this next turn. I did. I don't... Oh, okay, I guess that makes more sense. I don't know how I feel about that one yet, Will. I listened to it a couple of times, and it's like... It's obviously very different than a lot of their other stuff. It's good for what it is. It's just... It's a lot of a different vibe, you know? But it's definitely a good track. It's interesting, we'll call it that. Pieces, axe. That's unfortunate. Probably not gonna win this game. We go back to Spirit Box, I know. Just have Spirit Box 24/7 on repeat. Yeah, it's good. For what it is, it's good. It's just like it's a lot to process because you like when you think of falling in reverse, you know what you're normally used to, but it's so much different than that. It like honestly, if you put that song in front of me and didn't tell me who it was, I probably could not have guessed that it was falling in reverse. I don't think I would have got that on the first guess. But yeah, I would have because like I don't know, but I don't think that I would have. Falling in Reverse did a cover of Last Resort from Papa Roach. Yeah, that's true. You lost all your channel points. Just put on some Between the Bear to Me. This isn't the stream playlist. This is a different playlist today. This is Sleep Token Radio. That's a really good draw step. It's probably the best draw step in my deck. Hopefully I just hit 2 shocks and kill them. Pretty close. think I just put them to 2, right? Just go Swiftspear. Yeah. I'm gonna put them to 2. Kill this. Because that, like, the nice thing about putting them to 2 is it makes any Bonecrusher or shock lethal. A big tournament this weekend. What deck is better in the meta now? Is it Phoenix or Boros Convoke? I mean, I stand by Boros Convoke. I still think that deck is very good. It's the deck that I'm leaning towards for my RCQ. I wanted to give this a shot to see if this was like any meaningfully different than the other Pia decks that we played. And I mean, this deck's fine for what it is, but I think I prefer Boros Convoke for sure. I'm either going to play Convoke or Boats. And by Boats, I mean not really Boats, because all the Gruul decks have seemed to cut Sky Sovereign at this point, so we can't really call it Boats anymore. Yes, Pia does trigger off Bonecrusher, which is nice. I mean, I would consider playing Mono Green, but I sold all my green cards. I guess I'll do this. It doesn't really matter, like, whichever one I cast, they can just respond. I should put a counter on the Thopter, because this makes chain lethal. This deck looks good, but you get to untap with Showdown at the Skalds. That's when it looks really good. But I almost think we should just be playing 4 of this card, because it is just that good. That's lethal, right? That's like mega lethal. Alright, cool. Alright, let's bring in Rest in Piss. Jegantha bad. I don't know if I mean, I kind of want the 4th Showdown because of how good it was that game, but I'm not sure that it's good normally against them. The spot removal is all pretty bad. Like, at least the Rending Volleys are, because the only card that you're really killing is Demolich, and they can just get it back. So, Invasion also not great against Treasure Cruise, because they can just delve 2 extra cards. So I think it's just gonna be the Rest in Pieces. I can trim, like, a Play with Fire and a Bonecrusher. Bonecrusher not that great against them. I think 3 Showdown is the right number. Yeah, Showdown's just, like, the perfect top end for this deck. The Demolich versions are usually not on Thing in the Ice. They don't usually have Thing in the Ice or Shredder. They're just, like, they're all in on Phoenix Demolich, and then I think post-board they have Crackling Drake, which I guess could be an argument for Volley, but we already have 4 Chained. Yeah, Euclid's my favorite song, Ruben. Euclid is such a banger. Sure, that sounds fine. Can work with this. Has Kumano been good? It's okay. It's just the nice thing about Kumano is it's another 1-drop, and your deck is like a little lacking on 1-drops. When you said Kumano, I thought I had one in my hand, and I just don't. But yeah, it's just another 1-drop. It's for what it is. It's a lot worse when you're not playing the spectacle cards. It was a lot better before. Oh, they do have Thing in the Ice. I was not expecting that. It was a lot better before when we had the Light Up the Stages and Skewer the Critics, because Kumano could turn those on for 1 mana. But a lot worse without them, for sure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's go Vantage, cast this, try to find Chained, counter this. Okay, it's fine. I think I'm going to have to end of turn play with Fire, because I really need to find Chained of the Rocks. What version of Pia? I mean, this is the cleanest version that I've played. I do, like, we talked about this in the intro, I think I do like cutting the Spectacle cards, because they're really awkward with the Prowess creatures. And I think I'm a pretty big fan of this card main deck, as a lot of the games that you win tend to be, again, just the 2nd and 3rd chapter of this card, especially when you get later into the game. The fact that, like, you make Pia tokens, and then you can make the tokens bigger with Showdown is kind of cracked. So, maybe the correct version just plays 4 copies of this main deck. I think it's just the best card to be pairing with specifically Pia. Alright, they flipped. Which means we need to find a Chained. I guess Pia could maybe Chump Block. But I don't know that I have time for that. We have another Charm. Seems like it. So we have to go to 11 and then play the other Impulse, or not. Alrighty. How about this one? Can I have this one? No, maybe, maybe not. Young Pyromancer. The problem with Pyromancer... Holy shit, dude. What the hell? Holy crap. Jesus. Dr. Snackbar with the 20 gifted subs. Thank you very, very much for the 20 gifted Snackbar chat. It's very simple. If you didn't get a sub, dodged in chat. That Snackbar, thank you very, very much for the support. I greatly appreciate that. That's very, very generous of you. Way too kind. Thank you, Snackbar. I appreciate your generosity. Today we celebrated an Arabic day of giving, and I'm in the mood to give, so here we go. Well, Snackbar, thank you very, very much again. Appreciate that. You're way too kind. Way too kind. I don't deserve it. Spell Pierce. I guess I can chump block? I guess we can chump block. Let's go. Again, Snackbar, thank you very, very, very much. 20 gifties. That is incredibly generous of you. Greatly appreciate the support, buddy. Thank you, thank you. Is that about Subageddon? Yeah. We'll beat the Subageddon. What they find? A braid. Alright, game 3. Game 3. Maybe I should bring in a couple copies of Volley, given that they've shown me Thing. Could shave like a Play with Fire for 1 and another Bonecrusher for the 2nd. It's probably fine. I would try to pronounce that, but I'm going to likely pronounce it wrong. Alright, I'll try it though. It's called Aid al-Ada. Aid al-Ada. Aid al-Ada. Apologies. Usually give out money to our younger family members, and I wanted to continue the tradition. Well, again, Snackbar, thank you very, very much. Appreciate you, buddy. Was it really? I actually got it first try? Let's go. We call that, that's part of the streamer luck right there. Is this an odd Phoenix deck playing Otherworldly Gaze? No, this is what stock Phoenix looks like these days. The more popular versions of Phoenix have been playing not Thing in the Ice. They've been playing 4 Demolich, and they're just playing like 4 Izzet Charm and 4 Otherworldly Gaze. I forgot. I think it was the RC in Athens where it first popped up, and that's been the more popular version. But I think that's what is considered stock. I mean, I don't know who really like determines what stock is, but whoever determines stock for Phoenix, they can probably have a better insight on that. Yeah, we got to look at the Phoenix Discord. Zvi, like Zvi Moshowitz. I know most of the time the T is silent in situations like that. They can't beat Rip. Well, they did show us Thing in the Ice last game, so they did board into Thing in the Ice. And the truth is, Demolich in Athens, I played against it in Athens. It might have actually been the same person, Snackbar, because I don't know that many people showed up with Demolich. That was an absurd draw step. Jesus, that draw step. I guess we'll play Impulse first in case I hit a Vantage off of the Impulse. But that might just be game. The worst is yet to go. Everything's coming up Millhouse, baby. Attack for 6. They go to 12. We are big chillin'. No, you're good. You're good, Snackbar. The problem with Young Pyromancer, so you have a lot of enchantments, right? You have Kumano and Showdown of the Skalds that don't trigger it. So you have 16 creatures and 8 enchantments, which means that if you're playing 20 lands, you only have 16 cards that trigger Pyromancer, which is not enough. Yeah, it's also a much worse top deck. Well, a lot of the versions did play Light Up the Stage Otaku. This is like, it's kind of a revelation that this version, and the reason that we're playing this version is because this went, I think, 12-0. I don't think that person lost a match in the Showcase Challenge, so I wanted to try this exact 60 out without the Light Up the Stages. What about using Saheeli? It could be like an okay sideboard card. I don't think you would ever want to main deck it, but it could be an okay sideboard card. It is a lot better with the enchantments, but not great with specifically Showdown because it's so expensive. But you could play like 1 or 2 copies in the sideboard. It wouldn't be that bad. Kind of surprised they would kill the Soul-Scar with Etching being able to exile the Phoenix. I guess they know I have a second one coming up, so it's probably fine. Okay, do this first. I think it's better to just kill the Phoenix here because it gets exiled. Then we can go attack for 4. Next turn we can go Pia into Resolve. Yeah, I don't think that person lost a match. Yeah, I guess no Jegantha too. I think I can probably find their Twitter. Maybe I can't find their Twitter. I know that they posted it. Does anybody know they're at? I could probably find it. Hold on. Where is it? Pioneer Showcase Challenge. Yeah, it was this. So they went 9-0 in Swiss, and I think they won the whole tournament. I'm trying to find them on Twitter. I don't think that's their at. Oh, here we go. Probably the one that has underscore MTG in it. That's May 3rd. I'm not sure that they even posted it on Twitter. Yeah, their last tweet is from, like, May 6th. Oh, they streamed it. That's where it was. Right, yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they just went undefeated the entire tournament. Do I even have Pias? No, but I can go to the LGS. Oh, you're talking about this game. I thought you were talking about do I own them for the RCQ. I actually don't own Pias, but I can probably get them from the LGS. Yeah, they're cheap anyways. The only thing is finding them, because a lot of the stores in my area are extremely low on stock. That's the problem. Like the one that I go to F&M every week never has cards. If there is a card that I need, if there's a rare that I need 4 of, even if it's like not a playable rare, they don't have them. So I need to go to a different store who is more stocked, which I could do. But I have to decide if I want to drive an hour and 40 minutes for the RCQ this weekend. I'm not convinced that I do, but maybe I do. Your understanding is they're hard to find, which is so weird because they're basically worthless. They're like 50 cents, right? They're just not expensive at all. Hour and 40. I mean, I've driven 4 hours for an RCQ once. I'm not proud of it. You play Boros, Pia, Mono White, or Mono Green at my RCQ this weekend. If those are your choices and your goal is to win the tournament, I would probably register Mono Green. If I hadn't sold my Mono Green cards, it's probably what I'd be playing. But I'm stubborn, and I said to myself, I made a pact with myself, and I said, I'm never going to play this green deck again. And I kind of regret doing so, because I kind of wish I still had those cards. This is why I don't like owning cards, because I always get worried about whether or not I should sell cards when they spike. This is why I hate owning expensive cards. You watch the Showdown winner with this from start to finish? Yeah, this list does look clean. Very, very clean list. Hopeful Initiate. Okay. Huh. I can wait a turn on the Bonecrusher. This is, like, not the best use of my mana, which is unfortunate, but I still think it is worth waiting here. What are they playing red for? Ayo. I found my answer. I now see why they're playing red. Guess that gets flipped. Did you want to borrow Mono Green? No, I'm good, Mike. I'm good. I mean, I'll let you know tonight, because you are going to be at FNM. I'll let you know tonight if I decide. I can get Blue Chronosis. I think I own 2 from the box that I opened. Huh. Well, this is awkward, because now I can't kill the Hopeful Initiate. I think it's just right to go here. Attack for 5. Go to 10. And then I could double spell next turn. What would you swap out to make it Explorer legal? Chain of the Rocks isn't on Arena yet. It's really hard. There's not really a direct swap out for Chain of the Rocks, because that card is so good. But if I had to, you could consider trying... You could think about trying, what's that card? Portable Hole. Yeah, Portable Hole. It's not nearly as good, because you can't kill the 3-drops from Mono Green, which is the best part about playing Chained. I don't think you have enough basics for Ossification. Okay, so now I can no longer attack. I chose Hopeful Initiate. I want a double spell here, so I guess I'll lead Wrenn's Resolve. I could theoretically attack with Swiftspear, maybe. Okay, so now I actually just play this land here, and then I can play the Pia from exile, and the next turn make 2 tokens. Oh, I should have played the Pia from hand, right? Because then I could have cycled this second Pia to make a token for free. Yeah, I should have played the Pia from hand. That was bad. You could play Justice Strike, but it's 2 mana. I don't know if I like that. That is an aggressive attack. I'm just gonna trade here and take 8, I think. I think that's fine. Okay, so we can go Forge, make a token. Go Stomp here. And then play a Bonecrusher from Exile. And I think I just leave back the tokens, because they're better chump blockers if they have Brave. Yeah, it looks like they're Boros humans. I'm not really sure what they're playing red for, but... Well, they showed us Robber of the Rich, but I'm sure they have other red cards too. I guess it could be Embercleave. Definitely could be Embercleave. I think leaving back both tokens is just safer. They have no cards. Aren't they just dead on board? Wait, what if I take 9? Are they dead on board? They go block, block. Yeah, they're literally dead on board, right? Oh no, I'm at 8. I thought it was at 10. Okay. I probably shouldn't take 9 then, huh? I probably shouldn't take 9. Huh, chat? Probably ill-advised to take 9. I thought I was at 10. Yeah, what happens if I just take 9, you know? Surely nothing bad can happen. Man, am I, like, weirdly in a bad spot? The Showdown costs 5. I could just play Showdown because I'm so likely to handle land off of it and then just play defense for a turn and almost certainly kill them next turn. Yeah, I guess I can play Soul-Scar here too. So we get a token off this, and then we can play Soul-Scar Mage. And just don't attack because we're 100% to kill them next turn. Or are they dead on board? Block here, block here. No, they can only go to 1. If I attack with everything, they block here, take 1, 2, 3, 4. They go to 1, right? Like, it just doesn't matter. I don't think I can lose this game. You gotta play with fire? They have a Thalia in play. I can't cast play with fire. I mean, they're definitely dead this turn, right? They're like 100% dead this turn. You just go upstairs, trigger a million times. Sure, counter here, it doesn't matter. Alright, cool. Edge. They run 4 Boros Charm over Brave. Wait, really? They play Boros Charm over Brave? Seems a lot worse against mono green. I mean, Boros Charm has more applications, but as far as, like, getting through board states, I kind of get it, but I also kind of don't? I don't know. Yeah, Pia is nuts at an aggro mirror. Just gives you infinite blockers. Oh, is this their deck list? Boros Humans. That is the person we're playing against. So 3 Robber, 4 Boros Charm. They do have to End the Festivities in the sideboard, which is medium annoying. Have the impulses been awkward with Bonecrusher Showdown? Not really, no. I mean, you know, you are adding more expensive cards, but even if you hit a Bonecrusher, you can still cast it for 2 mana. It's not that bad. Alright, definitely want the volleys. Do we want End the Festivities against them? Let's look at their deck list again. Bodyguard. Recruitment Officer. Thalia. I love the one Tajik. I don't know. I mean, like, it's not bad. It kills some things. It doesn't kill a lot. I don't know that I want to force Showdown against Thalia. I want the Justice Strike. Honestly, I think just these 3. And I think I can go down Soul Partition because all their stuff is so cheap. Can shave a Showdown against Thalia. And plus Soul-Scar. True. Very true. I have to cut another card. I could shave on these, right? Should I maybe be cutting a Bonecrusher in this matchup? I doubt it. No, we'll try this. It feels weird to cut Showdown, but the card is really awkward against Thalia. Maybe I should be playing under the assumption that I have to remove Thalia from the battlefield anyways, because, like, letting them keep Thalia in play is awkward. Yeah, Bonecrusher is extremely good against these decks. Like, kill your first creature, or kill one of your creatures and then just play a wall. Well, we looked at their deck list and they didn't have Brave, so... I'm gonna kill this. Then we can just go... I'm gonna kill this main... No. Yeah, I'm actually... I mean, it doesn't really matter when I do it. I want to save Chain for Adeline, because Justice Strike cannot kill Adeline. See? Ooh. So let's go Chained here. I think I'm going to hold up the Justice Strike here. Although not great if they play Thalia. It might be the RSQ deck. Haven't decided yet. Alright. Don't mana type me, bro. Did not get mana typed. Just the old draw 4 cards. God, this card is so fucked up in this deck. So good. Like, when you cast this card on turn 4 on an empty board, like, how do you possibly lose? It's so good. Maybe we should just play 4. Swiftspear, Play with Fire, 5 lands. Let me fill up my vape tank and decide if I want to keep this hand. I probably don't. I think the range of hands with this deck is probably on average better than this. I guess that's true. If we have 5 lands, I guess we can't really ever draw more, right? Any thoughts of playing Showdown in the Urbrask deck with Runaway Steamkin? I know I got Jegantha. Showdown in Urbrask with Runaway Steamkin? Well, the thing is you're splashing another color, which is kind of awkward. I kind of like keeping that specific deck mono-red, but it's definitely something you could consider because of how powerful Showdown is, especially with, you know, gives you more fuel for Urbrask and stuff. I could see it. We have 8 draw 2s. So we have 8 of these and then 3 Showdowns, man. I really don't want to chain to the rocks this. I'm just going to play Kumano, I think. Then we can just go Soul-Scar chain next turn. I think I like that better. Well, this is kind of awkward. How much do I care about this bodyguard? Could get greedy here. The greedy play is go Soul-Scar Kumano and hope that I can trade Soul-Scar for bodyguard. But I feel like that play might be a little too greedy. It's really good if they don't have Brutal Cathar. If they have... I guess... So what happens if they Brutal Cathar? Then next turn I go Resolve, hit a White Source, chain the Brutal Cathar. I mean, honestly, if they play Adeline, I'm kind of fucked anyways, right? But maybe you're right. Maybe I just have to, like, do it this way. Save chain for Adeline, hope that I can get a trade with bodyguard this turn. I feel like I'm not likely to trade for the bodyguard. Free main one side definitely sounds correct. Yeah, you definitely want 4 in the 75, for sure. Okay. That's, of the things that could have happened to me that turn, that's probably the one that I care about the least. All things considered. I'm going to lead Resolve and try to find a land. Because I need to find lands here. Okay, perfect. So now I think I just kill the bodyguard. And I honestly kind of want to just hold back. If I'm holding back, maybe I should kill the lieutenant. Because if they go, like, land 2 creatures, then I can't trade for lieutenant. Either one is bad against the second lieutenant anyways, right? But I'm going to hold back here. I'm playing defense. I think we have the tools to play a longer game. We have 2 more divinations and a removal spell in our hand. Like, we are just the control deck in this matchup. That's one thing that I think a lot of players maybe don't understand about, like, roles in certain matchups. Like, we are at its core an aggressive deck, but I think certain matchups dictate playing the game in certain ways. And I think this is, like, a perfect example of that. Okay, I'm just going to fire off all their stuff. Like, now we can get a little bit more aggressive, because we can just cast 2, divinations next turn. We're just going to see so many cards. Yeah, now they have an empty... I mean, I guess we burned a Chained. I kind of would rather kill an Adeline. Never, ever, ever, ever punished. Wait. I guess I could partition the Chained. Swish, thank you for the raid. Yeah, who's the beatdown? Is that better? It's probably better to just partition the Adeline and just play a tap land. Then I can upkeep Play with Fire. Yeah, that's probably just better. I think I like this better. I don't want to shock here. That's kind of the point that I'm getting at. If I partition the Chained, I have to shock. So I think that's why I like that less. Yeah, they're also stuck on lands. I mean, they could just have a second Adeline. Chain would cost 3. No, that's not the way Soul Partition's worded. Okay, well, now I'm just going to kill this. Let's start here. This deck is just mono divinations. You love to see it. Yeah, I mean, this is just Jover, right? This is Jover. Actually Jover. This is a beatdown. My goodness. Actually Jover. Oh, literally Jover. They're at 0. Okay. Well, I didn't think they were dead that turn, but I thought they were going to 1. Building this deck right now for paper RCQ. It's a good deck, Snack Bar. It's definitely a good deck. I think it has some polarized matchups. Like I think this one is a lot worse against like the linear combo decks, Lotus Field. Mono Green is closer because you have Chain of the Rocks, but like I think Convoke is a lot better against Lotus Field because they're better at closing the gap. They have a lot more explosive draws than this deck does. Like at the end of the day, this deck is an aggressive deck, but it doesn't really have the most aggressive curve. It's more of a mix between the two, right? You know? Like you can kind of play aggressively, but only if you draw like multiple prowess creatures. We have Alpine Moons for Lotus Field. Alright, what am I doing against Mono White? This song is fucking nuts, by the way. Such a good song. I think I maybe want End the Festivities. Maybe Just a Strike 2. I think I'm down with shaving a Showdown. What would it be? We got the Soul Partition last time. But it is pretty good against Adeline. Maybe I just do this and don't bother with Justice or End. Does that make sense? It's really hard to find cuts, right? I mean, End is good, but the problem with End the Festivities against Mono White is they do have Thalia's Lieutenant, and they have a decent number of X2s. So I'm less of a fan of End the Festivities against Mono White, especially on the draw. And also, what do you want to play End the Festivities over? Maybe you could justify cutting more of the 2-mana draw spells. We could cut the Soul Partition, I guess. I guess maybe it's actually better on the draw to not play the Soul Partition, because we have 6 ways to kill Adeline anyways. We could play 1 in the Festivities. That's probably fine. Because we are adding more answers to Adeline. And Adeline also doesn't matter if we just kill their first 2 creatures. Like, if we kill their 1-drop and their 2-drop, Adeline is, like, kind of whatever. Alright, well, you know my philosophy. Keeping busted 1-landers. I think I'm just going to kill it now. There is a chance that they have Brave the Elements because they're mono white. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Untap land. Shit. Alright, we're dead. Game's over. Go next, chat. Go next. Go next. Yeah, I remember that article, Chotzilla. That was a classic article. Okay, well, that one doesn't matter against Chained. You find a mountain? Did not find a mountain. I mean, I guess Pia just locks their whole board down, right? Alright, I guess I'll play Pia. Can maybe start getting stuff done with that. Likely have a removal spell in hand, Brave, or Brutal Cathar or an Ossification. Yeah, this might be a go next angle. Oh. Wait, what the shit is this? So I guess this is... This is, Iganjo. So I guess we trade here and make them use the Iganjo. But I still get the trade here, which is nice. Yeah, this is honestly fine. So now I can just kill the Thalia. I have to do it main phase. Alright, they have 1 card in hand. Go to 7. This game is still winnable. Alright, let's try and find a land. Okay, maybe not then. Maybe not winnable. Shit. Mod check land? Jesus Christ. Well, I guess I can go Swiftspear and then volley on their turn to eat the Mutavault. Yeah. It's like my only play, I think. Ayo. One of those kind of streams. Oh, that's a disaster. I mean, is it? It's not actually that much of a disaster. Like, we take 1 damage. So we get a 1. I have to find a mountain. Alright, mountain please. Mountain please, mountain please, mountain please, mountain please, mountain please. Come on! Fuck. Jesus Christ, dude. Alright, I guess Chain of the Rocks is not free. Jesus. Alright, alright. We saw a lot of cards that game, but did not find a third land. Alright, keep this one. This hand's good. Yeah, actually rigged. This is when I go and make a Reddit post about the shuffler being rigged. Rigged shuffler. It's the Joker story? Yeah. No, I don't want to cast Bonecrusher. I want to fucking kill your homie. Shufflegate? It's the Joker arc. Alright, what are the odds they have Adeline? I'm still gonna do this. So we found another Stomp, which I mean is not awful. Awful if they find a Thalia's Lieutenant, but not awful if they don't. It's annoying. Chain of the Rocks? It's actually exceptionally annoying now. That is really bad. Trying to find the best main deckable answer to Orcish Bowmasters in 8-cast. Walking Ballista? Because, like, you have a bunch of mana anyways, right? Stomp and Initiate. But then I can't play Bonecrusher. Stomp and Initiate, what am I doing about the Adeline? I almost feel like I'm compelled to just play Bonecrusher. Because then at least I can have some sort of a reasonable block on Adeline, right? How am I ever beating a Adeline if I cast Stomp? Because they just get to pump up the other Initiate. So bad. I mean, no matter what I do, I'm kind of fucked. I think I'm going to cast the Bonecrusher. This is the one that I can cast until the end of this turn. Okay, let's do this. I'm just going to get a white source in play, too. Then we can check the tokens with Swiftspear. We can check the Adeline here, so we have to deal with 2/2/3s, which... Warping Whale is probably too hard to cast. Okay. Also okay. So we're going to go trade here, eat a token, take 5. I mean, this is honestly still doable. I'm kind of surprised they're offering the Adeline trade. Because the Bonecrusher checks the rest of their board. The second Bonecrusher, I should say. That's actually pretty good, because now they can't activate the Officer if they draw a land to find a Lieutenant. Question is, do I attack with Swiftspear? I'm only taking 1 damage if I attack with the Swiftspear, because they can shove with everything. I block here and just take 5 and go to 7. I feel like trading 2 for 1 is not bad here. Like, my 2 damage for their 1, because that also means they have to put one of these in the trash. And I kind of lose the game if they find a Brutal Cathar anyways. Like, I'm not going to chump block this. I'm not going to chump block and initiate with the Swiftspear, right? This is going to be a really close race. We're basically both in top deck mode. We have, like, a relatively even board. Their board's slightly better. Okay, that's good. Attacking with Bonecrusher is kind of pointless, because they just double block with 2/2/3s. So let's go Jegantha Bonecrusher here, I think. This game's going to get weird. We're just going to... This is going to be stare versus stare for a while, until they draw Lieutenant. Any argument to play the 1 Bonecrusher and hold Stomp for their turn? No, because if they find a land, I want to kill the... I don't want to give them a single activation off of this. You know what I mean? No, I don't want to concede. Get out of here. I don't want to give them a single activation, because if I let them untap with Officer and they just draw a land, then they get to activate it, and I want to try and prevent that from happening. So yeah, this is just stare versus stare. I can attack with this next turn. Okay, I can no longer attack with that. Maybe they'll decide to get frisky and attack. Yeah, next turn Golos activate. Yeah, we should clearly play Golos for the grindy matchups. Does that let me attack? I don't think so. Maybe I should hold the Kumano, actually. Go. Swing all. I mean, I guess... yeah, maybe sending with everything would have been fine there. I think I'm actually going to kill this one now. Yeah, you might be right about that. Maybe I had a decent attack there. I might have had a decent attack there. Alright, DBZ with a song request. I'm gonna keep listening to this playlist, though. This playlist is banging. I'm enjoying it a lot. Yeah, so I guess we just have to trade. Oh, did they hold the Brave? No, they didn't hold the Brave. Okay. Divination? Not a divination. I think I actually killed the Lieutenant. And we just get aggressive. Killing Lieutenant, I think, is better. Yeah, it's close. It's very, very close. It's a decent draw. Dude, what a weird game. Okay, that doesn't help a ton. It does give me a 2/3 to block their Mutavault Human token. This is a really good game, by the way. This is a really, really good game. Oh, that's not the playlist we're listening to. I'll link you to it in a second. I just searched for Euclid Radio. That's what we're listening to. Okay, they drew a Bodyguard. Divination, 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 divination. The song is so good that I wanted to listen to other songs that sound like it. I'm just going to keep playing my lands. Better if we find, like, a showdown. You can go. Alright, we're back to Stare versus Stare. No, we have no creature lands. I feel like my average top deck is better than their average top deck. I mean, that presumes that we actually kept the divinations in our deck. Which, I'm not sure that we have, because we haven't drawn one yet. I guess we drew one Reckless Impulse. Yeah, I mean, Showdown wins the game by itself. That actually kind of lets me attack. I can kill the 2/2, and then I can attack with the 2 Prowess creatures. I could even attack with the Pia, actually. Like, I'm pretty happy if they double block Pia, right? Yeah. I think I'm pretty happy if they double block Pia. I'm still winning the game if I draw a Showdown anyways, right? Welcome to the... Classic Pat. Well, I should say Anonymous, excuse me. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub to Skill Difference. Thank you very much, Anonymous. At least I'm assuming I know who that is. Because he literally told me last week. But we'll keep it anonymous. Alright, surely... I mean, I'm bound to draw a divination at some point, right? This has been one of the games of all time. Turn 14 against Mono White. Hey, we drew a spell. Hey, yeah, that was a weird game. All right, one of the games of all time. All right, yeah, simply just rejoin the league. We're 3-0 in this one. Yeah, I should rename this deck to Boros Control. Was this the song request, DBZ? It's kind of like a weird sequence. This hand's incredible. Yeah, I think Spirits should be a good matchup. Our opponent's 4-0. How's the Pia deck performing? It's good. I think it's good. I'm definitely considering this for my RCQ, which I don't know if I'm going to go to the RCQ this weekend. Oh, how do I want to sequence this? Typically, it's Kumano first. Yeah, I guess I could just go Kumano into Pia. Kumano into Pia into Swiftspear Partition. Yeah, that's better, I think. There are, like, oddly, some hands that I actually think you want to leave with Swiftspear, but I don't think this is one of them. I'm pretty sure I'll forget about Jegantha a couple times. You know what the trick to not forgetting about Jegantha is put your... So normally when you have, like, your deck in your deck box, like, you have... You open the deck box, right? And then you have your deck and then your sideboard. But just put your sideboard in front of your deck. And there you go. You won't forget it. And, like, have the Jegantha in front all the time. And then you'll never forget it. Life hack. Yeah, that too. Blue-white control. I think this should be a good matchup. We'll see. I think I'm just going to play all of my 1-drops here. I could maybe hold back 1. But we can likely get enough damage in before they verdict, right? Yeah, this is fine. The start of every game, you have to shout, I have a Jegantha at the top of your voice, yeah. I wonder if they're playing regular blue-white or Lotus Field blue-white. I think this means regular blue-white, because I don't believe the Lotus Field version had Glacial Fortress. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put them to 4. I could Soul Partition my own thing, right? If I Soul Partition... if I Soul Partition Swiftspear and recast, is that lethal? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... It's only 10, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, recast is 10. Yeah, it's not lethal. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hold up Partition if they go for verdicts. Can't do it anyway. No, you could still partition your own thing. That is a legal play. Oh, plus the Thopter, so it gets them to 1, and then they verdict. I guess the question is, what are we soul partitioning here? Probably Swiftspear, right? The Swiftspear gives me 8 outs to just kill them. Right, they have 6 cards in our hand. I don't think we're playing a long game with Pia. I think we have to try and kill them with Swiftspear. I think we have to try and kill them. Partition on Kumano. Oh, and then recast Kumano. Yeah, you're actually right. It was lethal. No, you're 100% correct. I mean, I was trying not to cast a spell into Absorb, because if I cast the Partition, they cast Absorb, and then I'm just, like, 100% dead to the verdict. So, like, I think there is some consideration to not casting a spell into their 3 mana for Absorb. Because if they have it, I just lose. There's no chance I could beat Absorb there. At least this way gives me a chance at beating it. Yeah, they almost certainly have Absorb. I mean, I think we're a favorite this game. It's obviously still close. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Partition on Kumano is pretty sick. That is a cool line. Dude, it's been storming so much the past couple of days. Really hope I don't lose power, chat. Sure hope we don't lose power. Portable hole on that. Alright, well, I will attack. Yeah, thankfully the air quality hasn't been too bad around me, but I know it's been really bad in a lot of places. So now they can't cast Absorb, so I can just cast this freely. Yeah. Get a Montaña. Yeah, I've heard it's really bad in a lot of places. Thankfully, it's not too bad. It's not really that bad where I am, but I know a lot of people have it a lot worse than I do. Okay, second Field of Ruin. Deluge. But now they can't cast Lockdown, so I don't think they have any outs. Unless they have main deck Sunset Revelry. It's like the only way they could survive, I think. Maybe double Portable Hole? Yeah, it's because of the wildfires. Alright. Game 2 against the blue-white. I'll cut all the chains. Should we respect the cap plan post-board? And possibly keep in some number of chains? I doubt it. I could have Volley in my deck if I wanted to respect the cap plan. So, like, this is 59 that I really like. Maybe the Soul Partition's bad. This is 58. I could bring in Wear Tear. We could do Wear Tear and, like, 1 Rending Volley. I think they have Angels, not Cats. Oh, that's a good point. They didn't reveal Kahira. Very good point. Would you consider bringing in a Justice Strike? Actually, that's not unreasonable, because Justice Strike handles both plans. I could have just 1 random Justice Strike in my deck. I guess Soul Partition's the same thing, right? But just way better. Yeah, Soul Partition's way better. Alright, we'll try this. Yeah, Strike also gains them 5, which is kind of awkward. Like, if they play Baneslayer and I play Justice Strike, I'm not really in a good position. It's like +5 kick W. Chain gets Shark Host. Well, so does Soul Partition, kind of. RCQ on the 22nd of July. What to play? Any suggestion? I mean, this is a pretty good choice. It kind of depends on what you have access to. I think the best choice right now, if your goal is to win the event, you should probably be playing Mono Green, because I think it is just the best deck by so much. Mono Green's fine. Rakdos is fine. Rakdos Sacrifice, I think, is pretty exceptional right now. Those are the 3 decks that I would consider the most. Yeah, Justice Strike does not kill Brimaz. That's a good point, yeah. It kills the Caracal, but not Brimaz. And it does have 1-drop, 2-drop, but it doesn't really have anything else. I think I'm still keeping this. It's definitely mid. Okay, that makes it a little bit better. Yeah, Destroy Evil. I mean, I already have 1 Wear Tear, but I could bring in a second Disenchant if I wanted to. Play Azorius Control. I'm never gonna play Azorius Control. I don't even think it's that bad of a deck. It's just not my jam. All right, they will not have Jwari Disruption or Make Disappear. And they didn't have a counterspell. That's good. Portable Hole. Jegantha time, I think. Probably just going to try to jam this next turn. Depends on what they do. It's not LOTR draft. That is true, John. It is, in fact, not LOTR draft. You are correct. Maybe we can bait an Emperor with this attack. Maybe they'll tap out and we can resolve Showdown. I'm probably going to go for Showdown either way. It's just not going to get any better. I don't expect it to resolve, but I don't think it's getting any better. How much are sealed pools? Because you can just open sealed pools with play points, right? How much are sealed pools? Seal. Friendly sealed? So I guess it's 300 for a pool. Is that a good rate? 300 play points for 6 packs? It's probably not that bad, right? I mean, obviously, if you spike a ring, you just win. Like double play with fire. I mean, I kind of want to just play Jegantha this turn. I'm just going to play Jegantha this turn. We can play with fire next turn. How much is the ring? It's like 140 tickets, which is absurd. I cannot remember the last time I've seen a card that expensive. It's unbelievable. Yeah, literally just like your second mortgage. You have to take a loan out to purchase the rings. Yeah, Bowmaster's up there too. I think Halfling was relatively expensive the last time I looked. Last time I checked, I think it was at 30. But nowhere near as expensive as these other cards. Huh. Kind of surprised they didn't Emperor in combat. I guess they're planning on casting Verdict. Now the Emperor's at 3, which is unfortunate, because now I can't kill it with Play with Fire. Probably can only win this game if I find a Showdown. Oh, that's a good point. This hits Planeswalkers. Yeah. I don't think I can keep this. So now we have to go Kumano and then shock the Wandering Emperor. They have so many lands that do stuff, though. Like, they have Hall, Castle. It's going to be really hard to win this game. It's going to be really hard to win this game. It's going to be a lot harder now. It is, in fact, going to be a lot harder now. All right, let's just go to Game 3. Game 3 it is. Today's your Friday. What's up, Ride or Die? They're going to Six Flags tomorrow? Let's go. I have not been to Six Flags in so long. Actually, when, honestly, legitimately, the last time I went to Six Flags was with Mengucci, because he actually came to the States to, like, on vacation. I can't remember exactly what for, but he came to the States, and we took him to Six Flags. It was so much fun. Yeah, the New England one. This hand's good. It's in Springfield, I think. It's like right on the Mass Connecticut border. What did he think of it? Oh man, it was so much fun. Actually, I wonder if I still have pictures on Facebook from that. Let me see if I can find it. That's an absurd draw. What you got over there? Behold the Multiverse, March of Otherworldly Light, Verdict. I'm just gonna take March. Right? Yeah, because then we get to flip the invasion. I don't know if I can find pictures. Did we go on Superman? He did, but I'm too much of a coward. I didn't go on Superman. I am too much of a coward. RoboSquatch76, thank you very, very much for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you for the sub. Well, we had other people go. It wasn't just me and Mengu. It was like me, Mengu, and a couple of other local players. But no, I'm too much of a coward. No Superman for me. I know they have Superman. They had a Batman. I went on the Batman a bunch of times, though. The Batman was dope. That's like, that was by far my favorite ride. I mean, how much different is the Superman than the Batman? It's just a longer ride, isn't it? I think it's longer. I don't know if it's, like, longer or higher up. It's definitely higher up. Okay, so I guess they're going to exile. I am just going to go to combat first. I'm going to do it this way. Because I think what's going to happen is they're going to go March, pitch a card, and then I'm going to go post-combat Kumano and Stomp the Invasion. Ooh, you know what I could do? I could respond and go Stomp the Invasion and then sack it? Is that better? I guess it's not, because then I don't get in damage since the Soul-Scar is attacking the Invasion. Maxi G, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate you. This is actually kind of tough. The other option is Soul Partition the Soul-Scar, but then I don't get to flip the Invasion this turn. What'd they pitch? I have so many options this turn. They pitched a Fairy. So we know 4 of their cards. God, this is tough. Maybe I'm trying to get too fancy. I feel like I'm probably trying to get too fancy here. Yeah. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, I'm just getting too fancy. Just do it this way. And then we can play the Bonecrusher next turn, which will get a counter on it from the Kumano. Yeah, I like this. Pump for Ring Rhinos. Yeah, we're gonna do Ring Rhinos after this match. Foretold a card, Giga Chad. Ring Rhinos after this match, chat. Okay. Now I could go Wrenn's Resolve plus Soul-Scar, which is honestly probably better anyways. Uh-oh. Well, now it's worse. After this match. No, I meant after the league, sorry. Yeah, this match that'll end in 2 hours. This is already game 3. We have 1 match after this. This is going to be a close game. Their hand's pretty good. They foretold this. I hope they cast Verdict. I can't imagine they will. But, like, is the Verdict going to get any better? Because if they wait, then I get to go flip this, attack for 4, counter on both, and then just sack this when they Verdict me. So, like, the Verdict is arguably worse next turn anyways. Maybe they should just cast Verdict. Doesn't this give you Indestructible? Oh, no, just your creatures. Yeah, Lockdown. I can't beat a Lockdown for sure. Yeah, makes sense. I'm going to keep the Invasion in play because I'm flipping this. I think that's actually a pretty smart play from them. Okay, so now I can go Impulse and Stomp. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh. I think I'd rather do the Invasion next turn, because then I'll have a 3/3 to attack the other Invasion. So, yeah, this one's on an adventure. This one can play pins on the end of turn, so we'll Stomp you. And we'll attack for 2, get a counter on this. And then next turn, we can go lead here, have a 3/3 to attack this and flip a second Invasion, and that's pretty good. We know they have Deluge and 3 Unknowns. It's going to be a close game. It's Soul Partition in response to Lockdown. Well, not really, because I kind of have to tap out, like, every single turn. I have to make sure that I keep putting pressure on them. So I can't really afford to hold up. Not at this juncture. Maybe at some point I can maybe hold up Soul Partition down the road, but not this time. Yeah, this is a really good league. If you wanted to play an Explorer, I mean, there's really not a good replacement for Chain of the Rocks, but my biggest, like, the one I think you would be most likely to play is Portable Hole. But it is significantly worse than Chained. I think that's really the only, like, even close comparison, though. Wandering Emperor. Interesting. Well, I'm definitely going to sack. Mostly because I'm going to flip the other one. Okay, so now I can go play Showdown. Take a peek. Ooh. Okay, take the Deluge. And then I guess I should attack the Invasion, play Bonecrusher, I think? That seems to make sense to me. Feels pretty good. And if they make a token with Emperor, I can just kill the token with Partition and then shove. I think we're gonna win this game. Deluge costs 6. We still know they have a Behold the Multiverse, which is foretold. I know it doesn't. There's no zone for the foretold cards, but they do still have a Behold that they can cast for 2. It's been a really good match. Oh, that's funny. That is kind of hilarious. That Lightshield array is kind of awkward against Vapor Deluge. Well, no, we know for a fact that their foretold card is Behold because of the first Lightshield array or the first Invasion. Okay, I'm gonna lead. Oh man, maybe I. If I Soul Partition the token and they find Baneslayer Angel, it's really bad. My bother killing token. I guess I could just like attack and play Bonecrusher. That's also an option. Yeah, I guess we should attack first. Maybe Showdown pre-combat because that could find land. That could find a shock. Yeah, maybe I should have cast this pre-combat. But I think as long as I hold this for a Lyra, we should be fine. Covered against most things. So they're probably going to be hold here. Yeah, makes sense. Hope they don't find another Wandering Emperor. That's probably worst case scenario. Went both on bottom. That's a good sign. Pyrite Spellbomb. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can find that off Saga. I mean, I can't really afford to play around Settle, right? Okay, let's cast this post-combat. See if they found a counterspell. They did. So still not that bad. Counter on these. So we have 5, 10, 11. I mean, this is lethal. We have this to remove a Lyra. The only thing I think I messed up was I likely should have cast the Showdown pre-combat. Farewell does get us, yeah. Farewell and Sunfall both get us, which they sometimes play a couple copies of. But they did bottom both, and they likely wouldn't tank this long on a Farewell or a Sunfall. It's been a really good game, though. Am I liking the deck? It's pretty good. I think it's a good one. Ooh. Alright, surely they don't also have a fucking Dovin's Veto as their last card, right? Troll Despair. It's eating me alive. Whatever, I'll play my land first. I don't think it matters, but I'll play my land first. Surely they don't have a Dovin's Veto, right? Does not appear that they have the Dovin's Veto. When the veto is Dovin. Alright, chat, we are 4-0. Prediction time. Like, every single time we're 4-0, we always play Rakdos in the last round. I have to keep this hand. I don't love it, but I have to keep it. You don't see Gamba? Probably because it already ended. Yeah, it was. I left it up for 1 minute. Alright, keep this, put back Pathway. Yeah, they're also 4-0. Oh, Mono Green, okay. Well, that is a decent draw. Certainly saving this for their fatties. Okay. Oh, I see. That is a pretty good one. Is it worth chaining an elf here? I feel like it's not. Maybe I should. I get in 5 damage this turn. It's really bad if they find a land to play a 3-drop, though. It's really bad if they find a land to play a 3-drop. This might be a little too greedy, but let's do it. We're sensing weakness. Let's hope they just don't find a land. I mean, it's not a guarantee that they have the 3-drop rolled up. Cure. Or just no 3-drop. That could also be a thing. Good. That works. Okay, not punished. Whoo! That's the best draw on the deck. Too easy. Too easy. It's a lot of mana. Well, now if they play 2 big things, this is kind of awkward. They don't have Storm, do they? We're 1 point short as the board currently sits, right? Oh no, we have Xaxes. Uh-oh. That's bad. No big creatures, no big creatures? Just like Karn land or something? Beat Karn land. Can't beat a lot else. Yeah, we can beat 2 lands. Unclear that we can beat Kiora land, because they can go untap the forest to have more mana if they have another 3-drop. Yeah, them tanking is not great for us. Okay. Just draw the 3rd chain forehead. As long as we can dodge... Okay, we dodge Nykthos, which is good. Because they could go hit Nykthos that untap the forest. Ah, they untap the blocker. Makes sense. Well, that could find exactly land's 2nd chain. So I will cast it. Now what? I have 2 cards in hand. 4, 5, 6. 2 fucking storms in the graveyard. Chain, Cav, shove everything. They chump. Block Bonecrusher. I take 5. I feel like we're probably dead. Sucks. I think we are dead. I have to kill Kiora. I can't even kill Kiora, right? They just go block here, Kiora takes 4. Alright, I don't know how I win this game, but... When do I change to Modern? After this match. We change Troll for denying more mana. Oh, because they can trade for Bonecrusher this way. That's actually a good point. I could have let them have the Cav, which may have actually been better. Because now they just trade here, and they get a lot more mana. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, we have outs to kill them next turn, but that's assuming we get it next turn. Like, it's not very clear that we're going to get another draw step. Has anyone here started a Moto League, then came back for a couple days later to finish it, and found match draws that you never played? I have never heard of that, Ride or Die. That is kind of weird. Soul Partition it's kind of like the 5th Chain of the Rocks, because they only let you play 4 copies of a card, but it like kind of acts very similar to the 5th copy of Chain, but it also kind of has some other applications, where if you have Pia in play, you can Soul Partition your own thing to get an extra flyer. I mean, I guess somebody could be hacking your account. You might want to reach out to support about that. Yeah, Soul Partition on Showdown. They're going deep in the tank. I don't know what they're thinking about. Seems like their block is pretty straightforward. You maybe should reach out to support about that, just in case. Don't want to take any chances. Did you set up the 2-factor authentication? You did? Okay. I guess then that's less likely if you already set it up. Glitch. Well, that's good. That is kind of scary. We are eating the Pia. I mean, I'm gonna hit the F6 button. I'm gonna F6 and then probably go to the bathroom. All right, you can go. Let me know if I'm dead. You tell me. Dead yet? I died. Oh, was that just did on board to the layer and I didn't even do math? I guess I probably could have done the math. You know. This is what happens when you don't do math. All right, let's go back. Oh, did they have second Nykthos? Okay. Well, let's end the festivities. I think I'm going to shave a Showdown. It's a little bit slow in this matchup. I don't remember what I cut the last time. I think I cut all the Showdowns, because you just don't really have a lot of time for that. Oh yeah, what's up, Nick? Keep in 1, maybe? I think this looks fine. What's up, Torborg? That's not going too bad. We're doing okay with this deck. Alright, let's play first. The classic Chain of the Rocks, no Mountain. I still think I have to keep this. Just hope to find a Mountain off of the Wrenn's Resolve. Yeah, that was a good one. Somebody played Ring in Creativity at the NRG event. They played 1 copy. I want to know how many times they did the thing. I have to know. No, I'm good, Nick. I'm good. Interesting. Well, now I think I'm just going to Stomp the Elf. I could end the festivities, but this is a much better use of my mana. And there's also a chance that they, like, play 2 more elves that turn. That's, like, kind of worst case scenario. Herm. I mean, I guess I could have played Wrenn's Resolve first. Yeah, I should have. I was thinking they were going to block the Etching. I was thinking they would block the Etching. I listened to the Doom 2016 OST. Shit, no. Thank you for reminding me. I have it bookmarked, but I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet. What did they reveal? What? They revealed Elf, but just didn't play a land? Okay. Sure. I guess we just go in the festivities here, and then I can just do a bunch of stuff next turn with Chain. Like, they have to play spells. They're going to give me a Chain target next turn. Check out BFG Division. Oh, so I actually, was that that was the Mick Gordon thing, right? Because somebody, I think Care Bear, had showed me that at one point. We did listen to, what did we listen to? Let me see if I can find it. It's funny enough, we listened to BFG Division, that's what it was. That song was good. And funny enough, I actually found a Clone Hero chart for it, and now I could play it on Clone Hero. No, I don't think Invasion's good against them. I'm not a big fan of it personally. All right, game 3 for all the marbles. This hand's a little sussy, but it does have a creature, a removal spell for an elf, and a draw 2, which, like, I think is good enough. I think this is just borderline good enough, but it is close. I keep it. I'll likely get punished for keeping this. It's, like, really hard to multi with shock for an elf. Well, no, I still think it's better to play Kumano here. Because, like, I can Kumano this turn, stomp the elf next turn, let them untap with a 3-drop for 1 turn, and then chain plus Wrenn's Resolve on turn 3 after they play their 3-drop. Or they don't play a 3-drop, and that also works. Makes you want to buy an 8-string. Yeah, nice. Clone Hero's dope. I have a good time. I still play it off stream from time to time. Played a little bit last night. What did they reveal off the oath? Revealed Nykthos. Okay. What's up, Mikey? Are you saying dude? Dude. 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 Is Stomp and or Skullcrack the new counter to Ring? I mean, it kind of depends on your deck, right? If your deck is... You only want to play stuff like that if you're already kind of aggressive. Decks like Prowess, for example, I think could really do that. And I think it would be a decent include in those decks, but if you're playing a control deck that's trying to play a bit of a longer game, or, you know, I'm trying to think of a good example, like Rakdos Scam. I don't think Scam would want to play a couple copies. Elementals, I think, is another deck that, like, you're not really trying to kill them in one shot. So I just don't think you need it in those kind of situations. I mean, you could definitely consider it, but I'm generally not the biggest fan of it in decks like that. It's a really good turn, by the way. Just kill all your shit. But I've been thinking about playing Bonecrusher Giant and Rhinos. Like, you'll see the next list that we have for the One Ring Rhinos deck list. I had Bonecrusher in my list at first, and Spike didn't think that we needed it. But I might want to add the Bonecrushers back in. They boarded in the Chariot. That is extremely unfortunate. No, I'm not qualified for the BT. Fuck, now what? How do I beat this Chariot? I guess I can double block? Yeah, I guess I can double block it. Go. Definitely can't attack into it. Yeah, playing a fair mid-range card in their rep deck. Oh, man. As far as Rhinos is concerned, I think it's really good with One Ring to speed over Bonecrusher Giant. Yeah. Like, you'll see I'll show you the list that I have real quick. I posted on Twitter if you want to check it out. Let's see if I can find it. The list that we're going to play. We're going to start with that list, and we can make changes as we go. Yeah, this is where I think I want to start. 4 rings. Basically, I took Matt Hoey's deck list, and I cut the 2 Murktides. What else did I cut? I cut the 2 Murktides and Becomement and 2 Dead Gons. And I added 4 rings and a 3rd Fury, because I wanted 1 extra creature if I was going to cut the Murktides. They're going to give me the double block? I think I take those all day. I think I should. Oh, because they had a legend with the Chariot. Well, I guess they could have also Besaged, yeah. They didn't need a legend. Right, yeah. It would have been a kind of a disaster if they hadn't Besaged. That's a good point. You play 4 Dead Gone. I think I have 2 more in the sideboard, and I think that's fine. Oh. That's what they were saving Besaged for. That's unfortunate. Kind of risky if I have a shock here. Unfortunately, cannot punish them. This is going to be a weird game. Alright, go. So we have a 5-4 to check the 2/2s. Don't really have a good block here. Until we flip this, because once we flip this, then this will get exiled if we trade. Kind of have to hope they brick off, though. I'm very surprised they brought in the Chariot. Seems like they're probably their best Karn target. I guess they can Karn for boat. I mean, they played this well, for sure. And I also cut I cut all of my showdowns, like, assuming the game would not get to this point, because I was under the assumption that if I was dying, I was just dying by so much, but this is, like, kind of a game where it's sort of close, and I kind of wish I had a showdown. I would never expect a game like this to play out against green. We can never beat Leveler. Maybe they'll forget about the Kumano ability. I mean, I just can't win this game anyways, right? Yeah, I just cannot win this game regardless of what I do. How's the deck so far? It's decent. Seems not that great against green. But it's decent overall, I would say. What are you doing? Hello? I was hoping they would just forget about the Kumano and just block with the troll. But yeah, we can never beat this stupid Cityscape Leveler. We are Didge. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop. Man, that sucks. God, their draw was so good. I mean, maybe I could have won that game if I, like, didn't attack into the Boseiju, but I was pretty convinced they didn't have Boseiju after they didn't Boseiju the Kumano when I double blocked. Because I kind of assumed that if they had Boseiju, they would have just kept the Chariot around. It was kind of weird. I don't know. Little sussy going on there. But anyways, I will pay out the doubters. It's just the way they played seemed a little saucy. Nothing I can do about it now, so whatevs. Let's open our chests. No rings, damn it. Need more sideboard cards for mono green. Like, what's the in these colors? What's the best sideboard card for green? I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't even know what that would be. Yeah, never lucky, no rings.